lot of good work being done by media throughout the continent. You pick the country. Media has been trying to do its job in very adverse conditions. Very often, adequate funding is not there. Very often, the regulatory environment is not there, but they've been trying to do their best. And that is why I think it is important. We enlisted continental organizations like the African Union. We invited the president of the the president of the Assembly of Head of States and Government of the African Union, with His Excellency Mohamed Ould Ghazouani, who is the president of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. He, unfortunately, who couldn't come, but he sent us his Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Mohamed Ould Merzouk, who would be representing him and have a message from him. We think it is important, media and political leaders, to work hand in hand, because we all committed to African progress. I also want to highlight something critically important for us. We have invited, and he was gracious enough to accept, to come and speak at our event, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, who is the president of the African Development Bank, which is the largest development bank on the continent, but also Dr. Adesina himself is one of the really biggest champion of African progress, as captured through his High Five agenda. He's implementing at the African Development Bank. So it is important to have him in a room and have him engage with media leaders in a room, so that, when we go out, we know what African leaders are thinking about the media and how we can participate in media in Africa's development.
Is it open for all, and is it free?
It's free. In our gathering is giving awards, lifetime achievement awards, to media leaders who deserve it. We need, as Africans, to recognize those of us who actually have been committed and dedicated their life to making sure the fourth estate is a reality on this continent.
Engage with the traditional media. They're the ones who are going to take over, as they are the future. So we have 3 winners, one from Liberia, the winner is from Liberia, the first runner-up is from Namibia, and the second runner-up is from Nigeria. And so the youth debate is kind of built on top of the youth challenge, in that the youth challenge was to see how we could get the youth to engage in traditional media, and then the youth debate is to see what exactly is the youth's place in that media. So it is called the Digital Circle because we're going to be using a digital tool called Mentimeter to sort of facilitate the debate. We're using Mentimeter because the reason is twofold. Firstly, the youth have a lot to say, but not all of them have the courage to speak up. And so Mentimeter allows you to vote and interact anonymously, which means you will get a sort of holistic view of what the youth think of their place in the media. And the second reason is that there will be a lot of youth in the room. There'll be about 500 youth from the Kenya, the Nairobi.
Headline speaker is Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, and he is the president of the African Development Bank.
In our news, in our media houses regularly. So that is important. We need to have a compact, we need to have an agreement amongst media leaders, discuss about it, and have an agreement on that. Also critically important is what we call the media tours. The media tours is, of course, you see around the continent, very often journalists are in prison. Now, if a journalist is in prison who works for my media house, I'm responsible for that, ultimately. But not only I'm responsible for that, it should be the business of every citizen in a country to make sure that journalists are not going to prison, or worse, dying while they're doing their job. So I think it is important to have a group of highly respected individuals, not all of them media people, but some of them media people, who would be willing to engage with adapt and actually take advantage of the developments in the industry, in technology in general, to do a greater job about training and participating in the African progress, while at the same time recognizing the challenges facing the industry. Because some of these new technologies, while they are great in helping us do the job, at the same time they present some challenges like deepfakes, for instance, like fake news. But all in all, it is important to bring media leaders together, to get to know each other, to get to work with each other, and then to really participate very actively into the African development agenda.
Type of consumption with traditional media, traditional platforms, but doing so in a way that ensures that we combat problems like misinformation and disinformation.